Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa barakatuh, sir.
Yeah, so I've joined now. Yeah, and I have the program with me. Have you started?
No, sir. You are the one we have been waiting for, sir.
Okay, sorry. So let's start with the recitation of the Holy Quran. Who is there to take the recitation for us? Don't waste any more time.
Yes, sir. It's Brother Habibullah Onifadi Saab, sir. I've just sent you the program as on your WhatsApp.
Okay, I was using the old program you sent my email. So let me go to the new one. You put his name there, ba?
Yes, sir. His name is there, sir.
Okay, fine. So it's there. So can we have Brother Habibullah Onifadi recite the Quran for us?
Yes, sir. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
I'll be reciting from Surah Al-Qaf, Quran chapter 50, verses 14 to 30.
Isn't that too much?
Okay, 14 to 25, sir. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم.
Okay, that's all right. Bismillah.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. وأصحاب الأيكة وقوم تبع كل كذب الرسل فحق وعيد. أفعينا بالخلق الأول بل هم في لبس من خلق جديد. ولقد خلقنا الإنسان ونعلم ما توسوس به نفسه ونحن أقرب إليه من حبل الوريد. إذ يتلقى المتلقيان عن اليمين وعن الشمال قعيد. ما يلفظ من قول إلا لديه رقيب عتيد. وجاءت سكرة الموت بالحق ذلك ما كنت منه تحيد. ذلك ما كنت منه تحيد. ونفخ في الصور ذلك يوم الوعيد. وجاءت كل نفس معها سائق وشهيد. I seek refuge in Allah from Shaitan, their cost. In the name of Allah, the most gracious, ever merciful. And the dwellers of the grove and the people of Tuba all rejected the apostles. So my threat came to pass.
Walaikum salam. Are you done?
Okay, sorry.
Are you through?
I was confirming if I was audible, sir.
No, I'm hearing you, but you went off at a point. I thought you are still reading translation.
Yes, sir. I'm translating the verses, sir. Okay,
so and the
dwellers of the grove and the people of Tuba all rejected the apostles. So my threat came to pass. We then fatigued with the first creation, yet are they in doubt with regard to a new creation. And certainly we created man, and we know what his mind suggests to him, and we are nearer to him than his life being. When the two receivers received, sitting on the right and on the left, he utters not a word, but there is by him a watcher at hand. And the stupor of death will come in truth. That is what you are trying to escape. And the trumpet shall be blown. That is the day of threatening. And every soul shall come with it, a driver and a witness. Surah Al-Qaf, chapter 50, verses 14 to 21. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you very much for that beautiful rendition of the Holy Quran. It's translation. May Allah bless His holy words. So now join me in opening prayer. Prayer, please. Amen. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Okay.
Amen. Amen.
All right. So thank you so much. Let's get into the program proper. The item we have now is the welcome address by the Sada, Majlis Qudam al-Ahmadiyya, Nigeria. So Sada, please, Bismillah. Sada, let's have your welcome address.
All right, sir. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم.
Lost the voice. It's like they muted you. Sada Saab, you have been muted. Okay. Somebody muted you, I think.
Am I audible now, sir?
Yeah, you're audible now.
All right, sir. Jazakumullah, sir. So, respected Acting Amir Sahib, Ahmadiyya Muslim Jamaat of Nigeria, and members of Ahmadiyya Muslim Jamaat of Nigeria, and members of Amila Majlis Qudam al-Ahmadiyya Nigeria, members of Ansarullah, Lajna Imahila, and of course, if we have members of Atfal and Nasrat al-Ahmadiyya listening to us, our and I say, brothers and sisters, once again, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa
barakatuh. So it's my pleasure to welcome everyone of us to this academic seminar. And without wasting our time, I would like to just give a brief account of why this academic seminar is set up. And it started sometimes early this year when I had a discussion with one of our brothers who completed his PhD program last year. And then he's been hunting for a job, a quality job in lecturing field. And then he encountered a lot of challenges securing a university that where lecture at any problem. But we realized that most of the schools that he went to, they are owned by Christian faithful denominations. And then these Christian denominations, or let me say the university administrators, are giving him certain conditions that can unsettle any serious Muslim. So which means that he was required to get engaged in the fellowship programs of the school, So, and that thought became, I became so worried, and a thought came into my mind that we are, inshallah, proposing to have our Minayet International University. And then I started asking questions that how many academics, Minayet International University is expected to be an international one. And we believe that by the grace of Allah the Almighty and the mercy of Allah the Almighty through the Khilafah, we will have the support of the Khalifatul Masih. Yet, I feel there's certain things that we need to do in university. And of course, for every one of us to actually do the needful by partaking in it. I'm of the opinion that with the less number of people, academics that we have in the lecturing field, there's need for us to have especially those of us who are still in the field of learning, first degree of just second degree, by which we can encourage ourselves to understanding what is required of us to become an academic. And then you all, and we are for every strongly that there are lots of opportunities. It's only that some of us may not be aware of some of these opportunities, but we need to speak to it. And this is one of the reasons why it is one of the topics that will be discussed at this seminar. It's important that if people are talked to and this necessary information are given to them, they will be able to take advantage of it. I'm so curious that the number of academics that we have in Nigeria is so small that if the university starts operation today, are we going to have opportunity to have members of the Ahmadiyya community in different leading capacity, like the head of departments, dean of faculties, or even the first chancellor, even though by the grace of Allah, that is sorted today. But the point is that it is no. If you look at all the departments that are to be set up today, if the university has to kick off like today, are we sure that we have the enough strength in terms of human capacity to take up the university? Then I became curious and worried to see that we need not to get our universities led by Michael, Paul, and Peter, but it has to be people of the Jamaat who understand the tenet of the Islam al-Ahmadiyya, and of course, the expectation of the Jamaat al-Ahmadiyya on the establishment of Minayet International University. I would say categorically that if you trust me as Abdurraqib, that okay, Abdurraqib is trustworthy, is honest, we can entrust him with any office in the university. Am I qualified to be a head of department? Am I qualified to be a dean of faculty? If I don't have PhD, if I don't have the necessary experience, the number of years of experience in that field, it will be difficult. the Jamaat or the leadership of Midnight International University will not say because Abdulrahim is honest, let's give it to him. We know him. Sister so person is honest, let's give it to her. No, it will be on merit because we want quality to be said of the university. And then I feel that there is need for us to have a seminar like this, and awareness that should be that will never head at any point in time, that we need to engage our youth. And by so doing, we'll talk to those of us who will be ready to serve the Jama'ah. And it should be that when we acquire the necessary qualification, we will use it to serve Allah the Almighty, and of course it will be beneficial to every one of us. Let me conclude by saying that in January/February, we took a sample data of the members of Majlis Qudam Ahmadiyya in Nigeria to request from them, those of them that may have interest in academics. And then we got feedback from about 207. I can say that the data that we have, which has been analyzed and will be presented by the Mutamim Umuru Tolaba, that is the Mutamim Secretary Student Affairs of Majlis Qudam Ahmadiyya, in this program, he would present it at later after my welcome address. We got data of 207 members across about 12 states in Nigeria. The Majlis Qudam Ahmadiyya has structure in 16 states, but 12 of them responded. That's why I'm saying that the data we have is not absolute representation of the degrees that members of Qudam have, but just a sampling of what we can have. So this one, when I look at it, I clearly see that the number of members of Qudam that have master's degree, whom we can encourage to say, okay, out of these 30-something members of Qudam that have it, can we, inshallah, in the next 3-4 years, have 10 to 15 PhD holders among them? So some of them just need someone to get them informed, get them aware of what we need to do to get them to where they want to be. And of course, we know that if you are doing it as an organization, as the Jama'at al-Ahmadiyya, it will strengthen our team. Even if by today, we have people who are managing our affairs in any department of faculty, at the end of the day, when projectively some of our members have completed their degrees, probably master's degree, or able to fit in to the need of time as the MIU may be required. So that is why a vision was actually set up that in the next few years, we should have large number of members of the Qudam, and by extension, members of the Jamaat who are employable as academics. And I believe that as we have our respected Dr. Abdul Salam Sadiq and respected Dr. Daud Dilko, who will be talking to the two topics that we have, we will gain a lot from this, and it will actually propel us to one. Jazakumullah khairan asan jaza. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you very much, Sada Saab. Unfortunately, in the course of your welcome address, there were a lot of breaks. You just lost the audio, and then to come back, then it goes again. I don't know why that is happening. I believe it's not my connectivity, but I don't know if others experienced it, but it's okay. We'll continue to manage it. So it's very good vision, and I must thank the Majlis for coming up with it. But we're going to the proper mode for us to understand what the themes and objectives of the seminar are. I want to call on Brother Shoyoye Idris. I hope I got that name right. Brother Shoyoye, is this Shoyoye? Not too sure. Idris, to introduce the seminar themes and objectives. I guess he's going to share screen because it talks about presentation of slides here. So Bismillah, Brother Shoyoye Idris. I hope they give him the right to share screen so that we can see what the objectives and the themes of this seminar are.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. You are still muted.
Yeah,
Shoyoye, okay, is muted, or you are not using your line?
Actually, I can't share with the line that my name is on. So I'm using my PC.
Okay. So go ahead.
I don't have the right. Yes. So I would like to crave the importance of the standard. So please, if you can help me to share the slides.
Either share or the host gives you the right to do whichever. I'll give you the right.
Okay, I'll do that. Okay,
Yes.
which network, whose name are you speaking with, so that I can just give you the hosting rights, or I should
show
just
you,
share?
okay.
Mine is underscore.
Okay, are you using a laptop?
Yes, that's Magis underscore.
All right. Okay, let me just. Okay, you have been made a co-host, so you can share your screen with it. Did you get that?
Yes, I don't think so.
All right. Exactly.
Okay, so good. Brother Idris, I can't hear him again. What's happening?
Yeah, I'm still on it. It's actually losing itself.
Well, okay. So the whole thing went quiet. So I just wonder. You are already sharing screen. Just to put your slides on it.
Exactly, sir. It's coming up.
Okay.
All right. I think in the meantime, you can remove this screen till you are done.
Because we are reading your private messages.
Academic seminar. Wow. Empowering the youth for academic excellence and serving, fostering employable academic.
Brother Abdul Karim, please mute yourself. Brother Abdul Karim, mute yourself.
I don't know if you can see the screen now.
Well, nothing is showing yet. But the screen is, you are already sharing, but you can't see what the material you want to share with us. It's your phone screen we are seeing now.
Oh, but Idris, should I share from here just to?
Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, let me do that. Okay, I'm sharing. I believe we can all see.
Yeah, we can see it now. We can see the slides. Yes, please.
All right, sir.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
So the aim of the seminar, or let me say the theme of the whole seminar, is empowering Ahmadi youth for academic excellence and service, fostering employable academics, and securing postgraduate scholarship. So like the Sadar rightly said at the beginning of the program, the actual aim is to ensure that, over the time, if you ask a typical non-Ahmadi, they believe that most Ahmadi members, the youth, the old, anyone you could think of, actually, they have this academic tendency. So they believe every one of us is well read. So to that pedigree. So alhamdulillah, Allah has actually given us the opportunity to have a university that is coming on board. So it is with this initiative that the Sada actually came up with something of this nature to ensure that every Ahmadi youth, everyone, including the female, both the female and the male, have the wherewithal to ensure that they are actually right to be in the academics, even if perhaps over the time they are not able to get into the academics or to lecture one way or the other. But at least we know that we have the SARS at any point in time. So that's why we coined the whole thing to be empowering Ahmadi youth for academic excellence and services. Fostering employable academics and securing scholarship. So the next slide. The vision statement. In the next few years, we should have a large number of members of the and by extension, members of the Jamaat who are employable as academics to be able to serve the Jamaat in our university, inshallah. So like I've already said, that is the vision statement. The next slide, please. So our current plans as MKA. The first one is proactively engage members at all levels on the need to become interested in academics. So, over the time, a lot of people think it's not only peculiar to Ahmadi Muslim. So some of us think that after BSc or HND, as the case may be, just like, I don't think there's any need for us to further, in as much as we are doing fine at our various fields. So just be like, okay, let us leave it at that. So that is why we want to engage members at all levels. That's why I said, right from the primary school. So we need to meet on the ball. So secondary school, tertiary. So they need to have that orientation to ensure that, okay, after my secondary school, I want to go into the university for this particular thing. Then after that, I'm doing my master's, my PhD, and all. And the second one is organize academic seminars on topics that will make members develop interest in academics. So this is also telling us that this is just the maiden edition of the academic seminar. So over the time, as we move forward, we are going to be, coming up with different academic seminars on topics that will make members develop interest. Like slightly said that information is power and information is key. So if you don't have information at your disposal, it's as if one is not living at all. So that is why we need to come up, we have it in mind to be coming up with academic seminars from time to time, together with the CAREC, both the CAREC, Tolaba, AMSA members, every time we're coming up with academic seminar like this. It is when we are able to hammer it to each every one of us, that is when we start getting the required interest and feedback as the case may be. Then the third one is reveal expose member rather to scholarship opportunities within and outside Nigeria, especially for postgraduate studies. So aside that, we also realize that every member actually don't have, aside the fact, some are even interested. In fact, based on the research, this thing we carried out the other time, we realize that many members actually are interested to actually go for more degree or more let's say master's, PhD as the case may be, but they don't have the wherewithal to do it in terms of financial capability and the rest. So we'll be giving hints and opportunities. We'll share the information of opportunities and hints on how people can actually go about this thing without stress or much stress. I can remember vividly that there was a particular seminar we went to some few years back, and there was this a man from the north, the professor. He told us that right from his primary school up to the professor level, he didn't pay a dime for all his education. So there must be a way at which he was doing it, and that was through scholarship and the rest. So we also can have a benefit from all this type of scholarship if perhaps we have the right information within ourselves. So the next slide, please. So after the analysis, so we came up, there were 207 respondents. So we came up with this table based on ILACO. So we did the respondent based on ILACO. We shared them on ILACO basis. And 12 ILACOs actually took part. So we have Abuja, Ekiti, Kaduna, Kano, Kwara, Lagos, Niger, Ogun, Ondo, Osun, Oyo, and Plateau. So like you see on the screen, for Abuja, we had 7 HND, BSc 3, PGD 2, Masters 13, PhD none. So I don't want to waste much of our time. When we look at the column or the row for the PhD, we find out that we have in total we have just 4, 5, 6 people, who have PhD in the whole of the 12 ILACOs that actually participated in the survey. So let's move to the next slide, please. So we're able to break it down. Dr. Superson was able to break it down based on this particular Abuja. Like as you can see now, we have HND. For HND is in blue bar, while the BSc is in yellow bar. So for Abuja, we have 7, 3, 2, 2, then 0, then on and on. So this is the chart for HND and BSc. So the next slide, we have that of Masters and PhD. The next one, please. So that's postgraduate degrees. So that wine, or should I say red bar, it stands for the PhD. Then the PGD, that's for those who did HND, or perhaps those who did not meet the requirement for masters directly from their BSc. So they will have to go through PGD before they go ahead with their masters. So as you can see, for masters, Abuja, we have 13, Ekiti none for masters, none for PGD, and none for PhD. For Kaduna, we have 1 masters and 1 PGD. Then for Kwara, we have just 1 masters. For Lagos, we have 7 masters with 2 PGD. So for Niger, we have just 1 PGD. For Ogun State, we have 3 PGD, 6 masters, and 2 PhD. Then for Osun, we have just 1 PhD. Then Oyo, we have 10 PGD. Then Plateau, we have 1 masters. So the next one, please. So that is the pie chart that represents the percentage of those who have one degree or the other. So we have for HND, we have 64, that's like 31%, 64 people. Then for BSc, we have 89, that's 43%. So we have a PGD, we have 10%. Then MSc, we have 15%. Then for PhD, we have just 1%. So which means that we have a lot of things, we have a lot of work to do as far as getting to the PhD level is concerned. So look at it also, both the HND and the BSc have a very fair percentage. And that of MSc also, it's looking a bit good, but I think we can do better as far as the respondents is concerned here. So the next slide, please. So analysis based on those who wish to further to PhD level. So like I said at the beginning of my presentation, that very many members are interested actually to go further. So look at the number of people who wanted or who says yes, that they actually want to go further. We have 122 in total. And those who think they just want to stop, because if you look at when I was doing the analysis of that chart, I realized that some people have actually even moved or deviated away from what they did in school. In fact, some are actually into farming now, full-time farming. Some are into tech, and some are just saying they are okay with wherever they are. So, but those people who said that they don't want to go further are just 33 out of the whole 207. Why those who actually wish to further are 122. So those who are actually there nor here, are 49 in total. So which leads us to the fact that look at those who are not sure are just 49. And the reasons why that they gave was that some of them said perhaps if Allah would enrich them, they will go further. And some even said if they can see opportunities, when the opportunity arises, they will find a way around it and they will be willing to go. So when we bring those who said yes and those who are not sure, when we bring them together, I think we should be having a viable number of people who actually intend to have their PhD and perhaps be a professor at the long run. So that is that for the analysis based on those who wish to further to the PhD level. So analysis of that, there's a pie chart of what I was saying the other time. So not sure is just 24%. So yes is 60% and no is just 16%. So I think I can say that we are safe as far as the intention of this academic seminar is concerned. And over the time, if we are equipped with the information and then things that are information and sites, or let me say opportunities, then we should have more than this number in less than 2 years to come. So the next slide.
Because now she'll have to touch her own money.
So
like is that money that she was giving for people. But because that one that to buy padlock.
Mohammed, please, yeah, thank you.
So academic seminar topics for today is essential ingredient needed to become a successful academia. So, and that will be treated, and justice will be done by Dr. Sadiq Abdulsalam. And what actually informed this topic is that we, like I already said the other time, that there is this missing gap that we need to actually fill up. And this lecture would, I'm sure, would do justice to that filling of the gaps. And also, the second lecture is going to be a guide to obtaining scholarships to pursue postgraduate studies. So that will be done by Dr. Dawood Alamedike. So if you look at the lecturers for today, they are both PhD holders. So they've sailed through the process, they understand it, and they have information that which very many of us might not have. And it will be interesting for us to hear from them. And also, I must also say that over the time, as we proceed ahead, we'll also be inviting some other people, PhD holders, or even those who are yet to have their PhD, but they have information that is cogent and that is needed to actualizing the intention of this particular academic seminar. Would also be invited over the time. So may Almighty Allah make this a fruitful one at the end of the day, and may it have a lot of blessing in it as we forge our faith. Amen. So the next slide, I think this should be the last slide. The next slide, please. So that is all. So assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and thank you for having me.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you very much for giving us the background to the seminar, the theme, and its objectives. So the next item I see we have is the chairman's opening remarks. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Sada Majlis Kodam Ahmadiyya, other Sadrans that are with us on the call, if there are, distinguished members of the Majlis. Let me greet you once again with the greeting of peace. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
I want to be sure that I'm being heard. Okay. Thank you so much. Yeah, so I want to start by first congratulating and commending the SADA for this great initiative and it's very proactive initiative for that matter, identifying a challenge is a current one that will only get worse with time if it is not nipped in the bud, and trying to, come up with solutions. This is not no less than what we expect from the Majlis as a body. And I want to thank him for that. I think even if we are not establishing our own university, it's still something that we need to get a lot of our youths and young people into academics, because that's the engine house of ideas. That's where you generate ideas. It's in the academics. Most of the other areas we are into are just to use the outcome, the results of academic research and pursuits. So even if we are not, but the fact that we are even, establish our university makes it even much more necessary, because now it's not only to have our people in academics in whatever university where they could be, but the challenge you mentioned of having a number of them that are out there, and in looking for jobs in the existing universities, they get, told or given conditions that run against their faith. So that makes it all the more necessary for us to have a university of our own. I believe there are a few Muslim universities where perhaps that may not be the case, but on a percentage, on a proportional basis, we have more Christian universities than Muslim universities, so we can never have enough of it, as it were, right now at this stage of our development. So yes, now that we're having our own university, makes it even more important for us that we begin to look at how are we going to, get teachers, lecturers that will man important positions within the university system, just like Sada said. And so I looked at the plan, 3 of them. I think there's need for a 4th one, if you will indulge me. The first one is to get members interested in academics. Yeah, from the little you have, although it's a small sample of the entire thing, you only cover 12 states. You have more than that in Nigeria. And even from that, you see a lot of people, like 61% thereabout, has indicated interest in going further into, sorry, forgive me, indicated interest in going further in their studies. So I'm sure a lot of people will be interested, especially now that generally, jobs are nowhere to be found. Academics is a very fine one if you could, if you have the inclination and the brains going to it, because like I said, is the engine room of ideas. So you must have the brains to go into academics, So now the second one is organize academic seminars. Okay, that's fine. That would be just to sensitize people and get more people to be interested and all that. That's good. And then what's the third one now? Reveal or expose members to scholarship opportunities, because like you said, people may be interested, but then where is the fund? I remember too, when I finished my master's, even though, and that could be also one of the factors, even though I had a fairly comfortable, I come from a fairly comfortable family. My dad was ready to sponsor any of his children to any education, but I was the first, and I'm still the first in my family, and I still have a couple of my siblings behind. I just felt within me that no, I think after masters, this old man has done enough. Let him concentrate on my younger siblings. Let me look for, because of it, I decided although even though I was interested in PhD, which I pursued eventually, but I just let me just get a job to relieve the old man of having to have, because at about the time I was having my master's, I have 4 of my siblings in the university, and that's quite a heavy load on any parent at that point in time. So many people may be interested, but then of course, finance is a challenge, and that is why it's very good that you have taken the idea of, even the, scholarship opportunities that's available to assist people who may be interested but lack the means. Now, the fourth plan that I thought you should have, and you should start thinking about and probably come up with, a plan, the fourth challenge to it, really. People are not interested enough, or people are interested, they don't have the means. It's the idea of the mindset to serve. If you look at your team, the team says empowering Hamadi youth for academic excellence and service. And that service, I think, refers to service in the Jamaat. We will serve wherever we are, we'll serve humanity, we'll serve the humankind, But I believe you are referring to service in the Jamaat. And we have a serious problem with that. If you take the issue of doctors in the hospitals, at a point in time in Nigeria, we had about 6 or 7 hospitals. One by one, we closed them down. Why? Because we couldn't get WACF doctors to work there. And it's not as if Ahmadi children are not reading medicine. They finish reading medicine, they don't want to work, well, as WACF. Even where they are said, okay, don't work as WACF, but come and just as a medical doctor, wherever, we give you the kind of remunerations they are giving you in any other hospitals. But because you're an Ahmadi, manage an Ahmadi hospital. We haven't had a lot of cooperation in that regard. Let me give you a practical example. Right now, the only 2 hospitals that are really functioning are the Apapa and Ojokoro. The one in New Busa, they just got a UCOPA person that is not an Ahmadi that we are trying to use to, revive the place. So while you are getting members of the Majlis interested in academics, and you are also looking for ways to assist those who may not have the means to pursue academic career or career in academics, you should also think along the lines of whether when they are through, they want to stay and serve the Jamaat, because that is a huge challenge. If you are not seeing it, some of us in management or in the top leadership of the Jamaat, we are seeing this. And I'm sure it's not only probably even in medicine, probably even in teaching. So you get members interested, they are fully trained, they come out, and then you ask them to come and now serve in a Jamaat institution, and it becomes a problem. So I think since we are at the planning stage and we are being futuristic, it's still good at this point to try to come up with ways by which we will sensitize them, not only to go into academics, but also to have the second leg of that theme, along on board, empowering Ahmadi youth for academic excellence and service. They have to go together. If they achieve excellence in academics and they do not serve our Jamaat, well, we can, derive some comfort from the fact that we have produced people that are serving humanity wherever they are. But I think it will be better for us. So if we have members that are not serving the Jamaat, do we now want to go out and start looking for non-members to come and serve in the Jamaat? So it is very critical. It is important that while you are, getting members to be interested in academics and trying to provide opportunities for those who may not have the means, we should also think along the line of your third one, which is, sensitizing people, let the idea of service to the Jamaat after they have graduated, gotten the laurels up to PhD, serving in the Jamaat as a critical point you want to make, and let them, buy into it as they develop. So I would not want to take much more of our time. I know our resource persons are ready to do justice to the 2 topics that you have given them. But that's just the point I wanted to make here, that if we want to, get them prepared for academic excellence, we also be prepare them for service in Jamaat. It's equally important. May Allah make the program, the entire program of this training our people into academics, getting them interested in academics, make it successful, so that, just like Sada said, maybe in the next 3, 4, 5 years, we won't have the current challenge that we have. By then, our university will have taken off very much. And whenever you visit the university, you will see key positions in the university being occupied by Ahmadis. May Allah make it so. So Jazakumullah khairan. So now then we go on to the first lecture, which is the essential ingredients needed to become a successful academic. I think that's what it means, academia. Essential ingredients needed to become a successful academic. And it's going to be taken for us by Dr. Abdulsalam Sadiq. So I call on Dr. Sadiq Saib to please fire on. Bismillah.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wahdahu la sharika lahu wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluhu. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad Hamid Majid. Respected Naib Amir Saab and Acting Amir, respected Sada Al-Majid Sulam, Ahmadiyya, Nigeria, our respected members of Jamaat Ahmadiyya Mulk, brothers and sisters on the call, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh once again.
Wa alaikum assalam wa barakatuh.
Inshallah, I have been saddled with the responsibility of speaking to the topic, essential ingredients needed to become a successful academic. An outline of the presentation is presented on the second slide here. Preamble. By the grace of Allah, Minaret University has come to stay. And the better, or the sooner we all key in, the better for us. The truth is, if we do not do it, no one else will do it. And if we do not do it, Allah says in the Quran that if you, that, oh, you who believe, if you fail, if you turn around from God's work, Allah will raise another group of people who will love him and who will in turn love Allah. These people will definitely do the winning and the biddings of Almighty Allah. So that is why it's an opportunity, a privilege for us to key in to support this project of the Jamaat, the project of Hazrat Khalifatul Masih, and to win the pleasure of Almighty Allah. Inshallah, we hope and pray that among the committee of universities very soon, Minaret University will continue to stand tall. The objective of this seminar has been stated earlier by Brother Shoaib Saab, and he gave some brief analysis on some of the data we have. I think it's alarming that members of Majlis Khudam Ahmadiyya Nigeria, or a sampled number of members running up to 207, we can only lay claim to 3 PhD holders, 31 master's degree holders, and I think it's a call for concern, and that's why this initiative is quite timely and thoughtful. May Allah bless the initiative and make it a source of blessings for the Jamaat and the country at large. I think more specifically here, I think the question here is that from what we have, majority of members are willing to pursue higher degrees. And apparently, even though we haven't sampled that, one of the major challenges I think they would have is funding these degrees, especially in the kind of economy we have. we are. We pray Almighty Allah ease our affairs and makes it easy for us to pursue our dreams. Introduction. Who is an academic and what does the academic career mean? An academic generally is a teacher, a scholar in a university or other higher institutes of learning, a faculty member or scholar at an institution of higher learning, such as the university and so on and so forth. So what is the academic career? The academic career refers to positions in colleges, universities, and sometimes also in the elementary school and secondary schools. But for the purpose of this seminar, and what is more contextually known is universities and other higher institutions of learning or institutions of research. Obtaining a college degree in almost any area can typically prepare a student for some academic careers. Typically, academic career progressions begin with a PhD. You become, or with or without a PhD, institutes of research or universities. And as you progress, the junior academics in the universities, basically you have from the graduate assistants who are degree holders, assistant lecturers. With a master's degree, you're supposed to be employed as an assistant lecturer. You rise to a lecturer 2, then a lecturer 1. And without a PhD, you can't move further. You can only become a senior academic when you have a PhD and requisite publications and experience to become a mentor of junior academics. And with this, you become a senior lecturer, you become a reader, and the peak of the career is becoming a professor. Academic work generally involves roles in counseling, teaching, research, and administration. Some of the administrative roles are those roles that many people vie for: the HOD of a department, the dean of faculty, the vice chancellor, and so on and so forth. The truth is, pursuing an academic career is quite fulfilling, brings a lot of joy, and a number of opportunities are found in the academic career. It's quite exciting, and the growth is almost limitless because you can continue to delve deeper and deeper into different fields, or within your field of knowledge, you can continue to delve deep and deeper into various areas, exploring things that excite you. And so many times you are excited, especially when you make groundbreaking research, when you're able to make good discoveries. You're excited about this. You improve. You also have the opportunity to train or mentor students. These are some of the exciting things in the academic career. You could make a real difference in the world by teaching and research and inspire present and future generations. Generally, people assume, or people believe, that there is a lot of freedom in the academics. Yes, I should say that to some extent, there is freedom, but the freedom is not as much as many people believe, because sincerely, it's quite tasking, quite demanding. It's especially, in fact, there's almost no time for the academic, or there's almost no time when the academic is not extremely busy, from reading theses to preparing manuscripts to thinking for research and things like that. The academic is busy, and that's why, I'm sorry to say, when you say an academic goes on strike, he is not in the classroom, but he can't keep his mind away from thinking, from research. Part of the beauties of academics is that you have the opportunity to focus on those things that interest you. While you might be taking many other courses while you might be taking some courses in the department that might not actually excite you, your research area is determined by you alone, and many times you can choose what interests you, and you give your best to what interests you. You also have the opportunity to mentor younger colleagues, younger students. You get to build a network of international relations. Academics also gives you the opportunity to relate with other scholars from different parts of the globe. Gaining an insight into what is involved at different stages of the career will help reflect on your interest in academic career. It can also can help you to gain relevant experience, can help you to prepare for the challenges, for the change in expectations and responsibilities as an academic career progresses. Listening to people describe the rewards and challenges of their roles can also help you to give you a realistic idea of what you may experience at each stage of the career, and can help you to reflect on what you may find satisfying or challenging about an academic career. I should say that there are a number of bitter truths that must be said. While we want to encourage members of the Jamaat to choose careers in academics, we should tell ourselves the truth that they say that the reward of the teacher is in heaven. And I think it's the same, even in academics in the universities. Many times, going into the industry, you have better paying jobs, you have better opportunities, but you might not have some flexibilities that the academics have. You might not be able to determine what you do and when you do it. Those might be some of the advantages of academics, but the truth is, you are not likely. So if you want to be rich, academics is not likely. You only have very few academics that become rich through academics. Another very salient one is that a lot of pressure and competition in the academics. There's this popular saying that you publish or you perish. And publishing is quite Herculean a task. It's not something that comes easily. It's something that comes with a lot of effort, and it's a lot of pressure to do some of these things, a lot of competition. And sometimes I should also mention that when you are good, especially as a young academic, you come into the system with a number of innovations, and you feel perhaps at the point of interview, some of these people appreciated your research, your articles, and you feel you can just come into them, and you just realize that many senior academics, for whatever reasons, begin to feel threatened by your presence in the academics. And these are some of the challenges you might meet coming into the academics. I should also mention that your research not all times becomes applications or products that you begin to see. And so sometimes your research remain on the shelves. And so if you are a kind of person that wants to see things done, you might want to prefer a career outside the academics, perhaps in the industry. The journey into academics. To step into the academic career, you will need to have completed a doctorate degree. Yes, I said earlier that you could come in with a first degree as a graduate assistant or a research fellow and things like that. But many times, before you can be regarded as an academic, you need a PhD. Basically, in this part of the world, the first degree is really prerequisites to get a PhD. You need a first degree in a relevant field. I should say that in this part of the world, many times the NUC regulations limits you from crossing from similar fields from field to field. Many times they prefer you to have a straight career, a first degree in biochemistry, a second degree in biochemistry, a third degree in biochemistry. Many times you find it becomes challenging if you have a first degree in some related courses and you want to cross to some other departments that have a number of similarities. NUC in Nigeria, that's in Nigeria, does not support such crosses. So many times you should have a first degree in relevant and similar field. You pursue a master's degree, and you should have a PhD grade before you are qualified to pursue a PhD. I should say that the duration for a PhD is in most cases 3 years minimum, but in special cases, you could have a PhD done in 2 years. But the truth is, most people rarely get this done in 2-3 years, especially where you have a lot of bureaucratic bottlenecks or administrative bottlenecks that makes it difficult for you to cross over. I know our respected Dr. Diko has a lot to say about things like this, because the experience for a PhD in UI, like many of us fear a PhD in UI, because you spend almost the whole day doing, you have you spend a lot of time as a result of bureaucratic bottlenecks. Yes, some of the things you need is you need funds to actually go into academics. You need time to be dedicated and committed towards pursuing the goal. Essential qualities, skills, competencies, and abilities required to go into academics. Time and again, people come into academics with from different backgrounds, with different personalities, and over time, they get frustrated, they get worried about their progress in the field of academics, only to find themselves faced with anxiety and self-doubt. Becoming a good academic researcher or a researcher is a challenging task that requires high quality competencies and skills. What are some of these competencies? What are some of these qualities? I should mention that many times, many people believe that to go into academics, you should be brilliant. Yes, some degree of brilliance might be required, but the truth is you don't need to be brilliant. The brilliant ones are those that score A's in most cases. They score A's and B's in most cases, but you don't necessarily need to be brilliant. You need more of intelligence. You need some other qualities than brilliance. So that you feel you are not brilliant, that you feel you have not graduated with a first class or a second class upper degree, does not mean, or even a second class in the lower degree, does not mean you can't pursue an academic career. However, I should mention that for many master's programs, you might not always get admitted if you have less than, in some places, if you have less than a 2-1, a second class upper. In some places, if you have less than 3.0 on a scale of 5, in some places, you can be admitted with 2.5, a second class lower degree. So you need some degree of brilliance, but it's not, you don't need to be extremely brilliant to be successful as an academic. Some of those qualities that prepare you to be successful as an academic include: 1, being curious, ask questions, challenge status quos. Don't just take everything, this is how we met it, this is how our forefathers did it, and so we continue to do it. Why is it done this way? Can't it be done better? Those are some of the things an academic, that's one very good quality an academic should have. You should be able to query why this is done this way, why it can't be done in any other way. A curious mind and an ability to discern and look at things from different perspectives is key to making a successful academic. Good researchers are observant about the world around them and open to new ideas and possibilities. You ask questions of when, how, why, which, where, who, what, and so on and so forth. They always ask questions. They always ask questions and look for answers. The ability to see the bigger picture while being curious about the minute details makes a researcher explore new ideas, test hypotheses, and make new discoveries. The courage to take risks while making attempts to uncover latent facts make his curiosity pay off. An academic should be ready to take risks. Failing is a step towards learning. You don't become a failure when you do it once and fail. By failing once, you haven't become a failure. You only become a failure by quitting. So doing it over and over again, learning to do it better each time you fail is what makes you successful. And so an academic should be ready to take risks, and you don't get tired of doing it again and again. Another very important quality is critical thinking. Successful researchers can think critically about information they gather while reading about new developments in their own and related fields. You should be able to analyze, you should be able to evaluate, you should be able to analyze situations, to identify gaps in knowledge, gaps in creation, gaps in everything around you, to be able to forge ahead as an academic. The researcher, out of curiosity, queries the status quo and identifies flaws in existing known facts and norms. You should query the norms, you should query the facts. You do not just take it, that's how it has been done. when you feel uncomfortable about how it has been done, you should be able to say, why can't it be done this way and that way? Instead of simply accepting existing knowledge as facts, you need to have the ability to analyze and evaluate the validity and reliability of sources. You should consider alternative explanations for results you observe and find connections between seemingly unrelated concepts. Next, an academic should also be creative. You should be a creative thinker. Out of your curiosity, out of your critical thinking, you should be able to be productive. You should be innovative. You should be able to come up with solutions to problems. And that's why research is meant for development. Research is what, like a respected Naib Amir Saab said, that the laboratories are those places where you go back to get solutions to problems. Unfortunately, in this part of the world, many times there is a disconnect between the academics and our industries. And that's why many times a lot of problems, a lot of challenges that would have been solved through research are being solved, or you employ foreigners, or you employ expatriates to conduct some research. That's part of the challenges we have in this part of the world. The qualities of a good researcher do not just include curiosity and critical thinking, but also thinking creatively when it comes to problem solving. Nurturing the ability to think outside the box and come up with novel and often unconventional solutions to challenges you face is how to become a better researcher. Unconventional solutions that no one would have even thought of, solutions that are far-fetched, solutions that people will, is it possible? This is impossible. And that's what makes you, that's what your creativity and initiatives should give as an academic. This allows you to come up with more groundbreaking research studies and results addressing issues that others might easily miss. Some of the tips for boosting creativity include your crave out of time to create for creative projects consistently. You seek inspiration from new sites and experiences. Use flowcharts and mind maps for new ideas. Your questions of what if this is done this way? What if this is done that other way? And so on and so forth. Another very important characteristic of or quality an academic requires is being objective. You do not let your bias and subjectivity overrule the facts and truths you're able to uncover, undistorted by emotions and personal bias based on observable phenomena. Nurturing preconceived notions is detrimental to research. Research is meant for development. For instance, where you have a bias and you are into pharmaceuticals, for example, things that have to do with life, and you have a bias that has influenced your results, that has influenced your presentation of facts. Many times you are likely to mislead the industry who is supposed to pick up your research to manufacture drugs for the public. And so your bias will be killing a number of people you never even could have imagined that at any point in time will have any connection with you. That's why objectivity is a key quality or attribute of an academic. Avoid temptations to make inconclusive statements or introduce personal biases into research, which will impact the research. Remember, building essential qualities of a good researcher means consciously keeping aside personal preferences and bias and applying sound judgment to your work, even when under pressure. Another very important quality of an academic is collaborative spirit, teamwork. The truth is, no one is an island. We complement each other when we work as a team. When you work in isolation, there's this thing that when you want to go fast, you go alone. But when you want to go far, you go together. So it applies here too. Many times our collaboration in research pays off in a number of ways. Many things that you alone wouldn't have uncovered because of your background, because of your knowledge, because of your skills that are limited, complementing you with members of a team or working in a team of whatever number will complement, and each you'll begin to leverage on the strengths of your teammates. This is one very important quality that an academic must possess. You should be able to work with a team. You should be able to lead a team. You should be able to cooperate when being led by others in a team. And the truth is, we talk about multidisciplinary research and interdisciplinary research. And when it's multidisciplinary, many times the ideas do not cross-fertilize. You do not interweave. The ideas are not interwoven. They do not, when it is each discipline stays within its confines, within its boundaries. When you work interdisciplinary, there is a cross-fertilization of ideas, and this approach is what is more conventional, what is more popular, what is being more encouraged in the field of research, especially when you want to come up with groundbreaking ideas. While sharing ideas and partnering with others, researchers can lead to breakthroughs and boost your research reputations. It also opens the door for you to work to reach and potentially benefit a wider audience. Being meticulous is another very important quality that a researcher must possess. Being meticulous, do not overlook minute details. Your attention to every detail is one of those qualities that makes you a successful academic. Remember that research is meant for development, hence the product is used in various ways. And that's why minute details cannot just be left without being attended to. Researchers need to pay attention to every detail, from the design of an experiment to the analysis of data, and further in writing and submitting their manuscripts for publications. This crucial characteristic can help you ensure your research is accurate, testable, and reliable, and also gives your manuscripts a better chance of acceptance. Persistence and flexibility. You do not do something once and get tired. Your ability to keep going on, despite your desire and will to keep going on, is a result of persistence. Only the persistent achieve their goals. Research can be a long, difficult process with several hurdles and challenges and changes along the way. And that's why you should be not just persistent, you should be flexible, you should be dynamic. Along the way, in the course of your research, there might be need to make some modifications that you do not leave because you have to be dynamic in your research. One of the key requirements to becoming a good researcher is being able to adapt to new technologies and changing circumstances and persevere despite setbacks and challenges that are inevitable. Life itself is full of ups and downs are what makes you successful in life. So a researcher, an academic, has to be persistent. Despite repeated failures, you still do not get tired of attempting that and doing it again and again. Developing the qualities of a good researcher means anticipating problems, adjusting plans to tackle challenges head on, and being patient while moving forward towards achieving your goals. Another key quality is ability to communicate. Another strength of a good researcher is communications. You should be able to communicate your findings to the layman. Not everybody has to have a good background in your field to be able to understand what you're doing. You should be able to communicate to everybody or to a very large audience whenever opportunities present itself. And very importantly, is time management. Academics, like I said earlier, is quite demanding of your time, quite demanding of your time, and your ability to maneuver, your ability to manage your time to achieve your goals, your ability to prioritize and organize your tasks to set to set limit, to set targets and achieve them is one of those things that makes you stand out. Things that are academic. Academics is quite challenging. You have a number of tasks, and many times, many of these tasks are time bound. And as a result, you can't afford not to be able to manage your time well. So if you still have challenges with time management, this is a skill you might want to perfect well while you choose to go into academics. Going forward, part of what I'm proposing here is having identified yourself, identified those things that gives you pleasure. If you think you derive pleasure in going into academics, then follow your passion, follow your dreams. Choose, for many of us that already have first degrees, in most cases, you can always continue in your line of academics. For those who do not yet have degrees, you can choose disciplines you think you find interesting and where you think your strengths lie. Make a strong determination and be focused. Seek international or funded opportunities at whatever level. As an academic, you should always seek opportunities for funding, for research, for scholarship, for education, and so on. And very importantly, and I think since of the first 3 points mentioned here, I won't be discussing anything. This 4th point is, I think, will be addressed by my respected big brother, Dr. Diko Saab. And so, inshallah, I have added some little notes on the last point, which has to do with mentoring. A mentor gives you an opportunity. In most cases, when you have a mentor, you begin your career from where he's stopping his. You stand on his shoulders in your career, and that's why mentoring is key. Or is when you have good mentors as an academic, you move faster than many of your colleagues. What is mentoring and who is a mentor? The act or process of helping and guiding another person to support their personal development is what is generally referred to as mentoring. So as a mentor, you give motivation, you advice, you lead to success, you give direction, you coach, you support, you give direction towards goals, and you train your mentees. Who is a mentor? A mentor is a person who can support, advise, and guide you. They typically take their time to get to know you and the challenges you are facing, and then use their understanding and personal experience to help you improve. This relationship is additional to a teacher and boss. The teacher benefits from a more personal and confidential structure. Mentors have the potential to become lifelong friends, or the relationship might only last until you've achieved a goal. There is no one size fits all. The mentor-mentee relationship could be bi-directional. While you could have different mentors for different purposes. You can be a mentor to your mentee. While you're a mentor to your mentee can also be a mentor to you on different grounds, and that's what is just described here. And mentoring is in stages. While you could have a senior lecturer in the faculty who is your mentor, the senior lecturer still looks up to a professor, and in fact, you'll be surprised that a professor still looks to another senior professor who he still believes he's still his mentor, who is still mentoring him. So mentoring is in stages, and there's almost no time when you can't be mentored for different purposes. The purpose of mentoring is to help you grow as a person and become the best version of yourself. This may involve helping you achieve your personal or career goals, introducing you to the new ways of thinking, challenging your limiting assumptions, sharing valuable life lessons, and much more. Beginning your career from the end point of your mentor. Many times when you have a good mentor, when you have a very successful mentor, you have the opportunity to start your career almost where he's ending his career. So many times, what people see is the success. They do not know what goes on the ground to achieve the success, the hard work, time, the discipline, the sacrifices, the number of times you had to fail before you got to success. Many people do not see this. What they see eventually is when you become successful and they say successful. With this, I wish us the best and I welcome us to Minaret International University. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa
barakatuh. Thank you very much, Dr. Abdul Salam Sadiq, for that very very, very research scientist in my earlier life of about 80 years. So I relate
Sorry, the audio is not audible enough. The audio is not audible enough, sir.
Assalamu alaikum, sir. Assalamu alaikum, sir.
Assalamu alaikum, sir. The audio is not audible enough. We are not hearing you clearly, sir.
Assalamu alaikum, Dr. Sir.
Assalamu alaikum wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum
assalam.
So it appears that the network from the respected acting army sub is fluctuating. So and is out of the call. So I'm very sure you'll be trying to join back. Please kindly let's exercise some patience while he joins back. Jazakumullah khair.
Barakallahu fi.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi
wa barakatuh.
So I've been able to speak with respected Acting Amir Saab. He's still trying to join back. So, and he has directed that the second lecturer starts. And I want to humbly call on our respected father and scholar, Dr. Daoud Alani Diko Sahib, to give us his presentation. Jazakumullah khair.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa barakatuh. Wa alaikum salam wa barakatuh.
I hope you can enable me to share my screen just to show my slide.
Yes, sir, you've been enabled. You are a host.
Oh, okay. Well, okay, so I quite appreciate the Almighty Allah for making this possibility. Can we see my screen now?
Yes, sir, we can.
Yes, we can.
Okay. Okay, all right. Thank you so much.
Oh, did someone say we cannot?
We can hear you. We can hear you clearly. We can hear
Could
you
you
clearly.
please
Could
you please put it on a share slide, below, so that we see it better, sir?
Okay,
Okay,
a presentation mode. Presentation mode. Okay.
The presentation mode. Thank you.
Okay. This way it is not okay.
It's not showing the full screen of the slide.
The full screen on my screen is this full screen now.
Okay,
yes,
sir.
It will be full on your screen, sir. Below there is a screen. There is that mode is down there. Just click on the mode so that it will just show only the slides.
Dr. Diko, click the mode that is next to the battery percentage. I mean,
yes, sir.
the screen size
beside
percentage.
83%.
Click the mode that is next to the screen size percentage.
Okay. The icon that is next to 83%.
Okay, just be patient.
Minimize it. Just minimize
Let me stop sharing, then I reshare again. Okay. Okay, like this.
Well, it's coming up now. It's like I've minimized it. You minimized your screen sharing.
Okay.
Dr. Saab, can you see on the
like this
on the type the below bar, that bar below where you see 83%? Can you see 83%?
No, there's no 83% on my screen.
To your right, we saw it now. It showed to the right, under your screen. 83%. Yeah.
Yeah.
The title bar. I think that's title bar, right? Below, beneath the screen.
Maybe what you are seeing. I'm only seeing there is no percentage on the battery here because
it looks like a small TV. It looks like a small 4-corner, like a square. So just click
with
on
a small stand.
Yeah.
Okay. This
small stand below.
Yes, but we can no longer see your screen.
No, I've not shared. I've not shared.
Okay.
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 Well, the original problem I think I should have is maybe because I lost connection with the other gadget. I had to use another one to connect. I'm so sorry for that. Yeah. So I initially should have used my phone, but I don't know why this is coming up this way. It's okay.
Can you press F5 on your keyboard?
F5 now.
Can you press F5 on your keyboard? F5.
Okay. Okay. I don't know why this.
If I use the laptop,
like this,
F5 will do it.
I've done F5 and it's showing me the full screen. So I don't know why you're not seeing it.
You're not.
You're not seeing it.
No.
We are seeing your screen now.
Can you see it now?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So this is good for everyone.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Sandra, please, can you kindly give me the permission to share my screen? I'll screenshot the screen, so I will show you where you need to enlarge the screen. So can you give me the permission? Let me share my screen. So I will share the screen I screenshot. It's those screen that I screenshot now. So I will show you where we enlarge the screen.
Okay. Okay. Well, the interesting thing is on my own screen, everything is large and it's full screen. So let me stop sharing.
What will happen, Dr. Sai? That is how it will show.
Okay. Okay. Let's do this. Sarah, can you share your screen for me? I'll send the stuff on my WhatsApp to you.
Okay.
Maybe that can be better.
Okay.
Yeah, I will send.
Okay, you can send the file to me, sir. I will. You can share it with me, sir. No problem.
That will be better. Okay. Yeah.
Technology.
Yeah, I've sent it to you.
Okay, sir. I'm trying to.
So you can share. Yeah, that would be good.
Okay. I will do that.
Yes.
Fine, sir. Hello.
Hi.
Yes.
Well, pending when you will be able to start sharing, I can start with some statements. So,
yes, you can use your own to speak.
Yeah, Naibami representing the other side and chairman of the August program. The Sadar Majis Dam, Brother Sazan. Please, that person should just mute.
Hello.
Other protocols duly observed. I'm sure that we are taking our time already, so please forgive me if there's any protocol I have not observed. Sorry for that.
Hello.
So I quite appreciate the privilege to have to come and discuss this topic. When the SADA told me, I was a bit disturbed. I said, talking about scholarship, are you saying we should send our people to the UK or the US or other countries? Is that what you are telling me to come and teach them how to do?
And he he said, well, that is not it. And he gave a background to what is happening today, which also was discussed from the beginning. It's a very good initiative, and I mean, it's good that the Majlis is taking a think tank position for the Jama. I'm quite happy about that, and we hope this continues as you have promised. I also appreciate other speakers. The Neighbor Amir gave us some insight into his personal life and showed us that he also had some bit of what it takes to be an academic, although he is in the industry now. Also, I have that my brother that gave the first lecture was quite explicit about so many things, and I quite appreciate that, because to do a postgraduate degree is not a joke, particularly when you are here in Nigeria. And he mentioned my name to possibly give possible experiences. I know, but experiences might not be shared as much now. But I would say that to have a postgraduate degree in Nigeria takes a lot of patience, and a lot of patience. So I would want to appeal that now that we need more people in the field of academics, that they should please try to understand that not the excellence or the brilliancy that comes first, like you said. Yeah, I was not the first class student, so I didn't graduate the first class. I didn't even graduate the 2-1. I'm in my house, I'm in my family, so I can tell you that is the reality. In fact, when I came back for my master's, one of my lecturers said, "You again?" You know the meaning of that? With what your eyes are seeing here, you still came back for a master's. In fact, one of our very senior professor, I went to meet him, I wanted to supervise my master's. He said, "You are not good in analysis, I can't supervise you." And interestingly, today, I mean, I'm even promoting his work because I'm in his field and I'm extending some of his works. These are things to be proud of, because at some level, you might find yourself in situations where things are so tight that you might not be able to run from, and you have to just fix it. So that is the kind of idea that a postgraduate degree is. And another thing that I want to say about postgraduate pursuing or degree is a lot of us think after our first degree, we need to go and rest, we need to go and sleep, we need to get some money before we are able to do a postgraduate. It is not that. It is not that, because you need to leave your comfort zone to be able to get these things. They are not sold in the markets. You have to go to where these things are obtained. Okay. So well, considering the fact that the slide is not still coming up, I don't know why. I would still want to give an introduction into what postgraduate scholarship is. A postgraduate scholarship is a form of financial support or funding that is awarded to individuals who wish to pursue further education and research. These scholarships are typically provided by universities, research institutions, governments, private organizations, or foundations with the aim of promoting advanced education with academic excellence, and particularly research in specific fields. So postgraduate scholarships are available for various levels of advanced education, including master's, doctoral degrees, as well as postdoctoral research positions. They can also cover a wide range of disciplines, such as in the science, engineering, social sciences, humanities, arts, business, and more. Now, what is the importance of pursuing a scholarship? Scholarship play crucial roles. Yeah, please go to the first slide. Scholarships play a crucial role in enabling an individual to pursue higher education by providing financial support and reducing the barriers that can hinder access to advanced learning opportunities. Okay, So one of the reasons that we pursue scholarship opportunities for our first financial accessibility. Like we know, research is not something you do in a day. Yeah, please just leave it here. Okay, research is not something you do in a day. So you need time, you need money to live, you need money to buy materials, you need money to, in fact, those are the theoretical fields. You need to do print out photocopies, a lot of things that you cannot imagine. Daily you spend money. So financial accessibility is one of the reasons that we pursue postgraduate degree. Don't mind, I'll come to the slide when I need it. So just follow what I'm saying. We also need to promote equal opportunities because we are from diverse backgrounds. Hence, there is the need to look at where those opportunities lie, where you can showcase talent and bring out the best in yourself. Postgraduate scholarship also encourage academic excellence because everybody wants to show the skills that they have. Okay. It also fosters research and innovation. You bring new ideas out from what you know, from what you have experienced. You can mix one or two things up and you say, oh, okay, this is new, this is more recent. So this can work for what you have been looking at solutions for. Then it also attracts retaining talent. Okay. It reduces student debt because a lot of times, a lot of us go into debt before we can survive our postgraduate, education. I'm still on it anyway. I'm still trying to survive that. You can ask Nigerian academics, they will tell you. And this is the reason why some of the advanced countries, they know this. So when they see talent, they encourage you by giving you scholarships to just come to us. We'll support you. For example, a friend of mine was just telling me that in the US now, if you want to do quantum computing, there are a lot of opportunities for you, and which is true. The whole world is trying to build a quantum computer, which can work 1,000 times faster than a classical computer that we are using presently. So these are some of the things that makes postgraduate scholarship very, very, very important. There are more, but I just limit it there because of time. Now, we have types of postgraduate scholarship: the merit-based scholarship, need-based scholarships, research-based scholarship, country-specific scholarships, and field-specific scholarships. Please leave the slide. Please leave the slide. You can see it is removed. What are merit-based scholarships? These are academic scholarships that are awarded to students with outstanding academic achievements. It could be a national merit scholarship, it could be presidential scholarship. Sometimes in schools, you have what you call the Dean Scholarship. Okay. Then you have other kind of scholarship that also, sometimes you look at leadership scholarship. In some institutions, they look at the kind of person that you are and give a scholarship based on that. Sometimes you look at weak students that are not even able to afford school. Recently, the Nigerian government has decided that we are going to borrow money to go to school. So, because they cannot afford to pay for scholarship which we are being given. So these are some of the kinds of scholarship that we have. For the research-based scholarship, we have those opportunities that come from different individuals or different groups. It could be industries. It could be health institutes. Foundations. For example, the Fulbright scholarship that also help students program, and so many others. I would send the material to the SADR, which you can share. All this information is there. You don't need to write, just listen. I have all of them, in the material I'll send later. Okay, so these are basic forms of scholarships. Let's look at the country-based scholarship. You have the Chevening Scholarship, which is in the United Kingdom. You have the Swiss Government Excellence Scholarship in Switzerland. You have the Australian Awards, which is in Australia. You have the Japanese Government Scholarship, which is in Japan. And New Zealand Scholarship in New Zealand, Chinese Government Scholarship in China, South Korean Government Scholarship in South Korea. Then you have the EFL scholarships, which is in France. Then you have the Commonwealth Scholarship, which is for Africans, basically. I mean, most of this scholarship takes care of your travel, your basic living, I mean stipends. Sometimes if you have to go for conferences, workshops, you also take care of some of these things. And you are relieved of the basic financial commitment that you would have needed to take care of. I mean, so these are why some of these scholarships are there. I am in the mathematical fields. I think when Brasoye was talking, he gave a statistics of our members that are in different fields. One of the things I would have loved was if we can know the fields that these people are. Okay, you have an HND in what field, then okay, we know what you are fit for. You can do this, you can do that. If you have a BSc in the sciences, in the humanities, or the arts. So we could be able to know what specific scholarship is good for who. In my own field, as a mathematician, I can specify a number of fields where you can, apply. As you are living your BSc degree, if you have an excellent grade, there are scholarships you apply for, and most times, it is sure for you. In fact, in the about 12 years I have spent in UI here in my department, I can assure you that every year, we have students that go abroad on scholarship. This year alone, I have 2 of them that I wrote their references, and presently they are there, one in the US, one in Italy. Another one went to South Africa, now is going back to the US. Another one also in another US. So many of them like that, okay? Although some of them might require your excellence, okay? So in this way, we can see some of the examples of opportunities that are there. When I send this material to the Asada, you can Google search them, and possibly you explore what you see there. Now, in some field, you have some specific scholarships, like in the US, you have what you call the NSF Graduate Research Scholarship or Fellowship. Sometimes scholarship comes in forms of fellowship. Fellowship can be a short-time visit, 3 months, 6 months, it can be a year. Okay, depends. Okay, so there are fellowship in the US that you get, particularly when it comes to science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Then in some fields that possibly related to humanities, then in the medical fields. Okay, in Nigeria, we also have such opportunities, but it's very, very limited. Okay, one of the things that happen in Nigeria is this: it's the only source which is very popular is the TED fund, because you wonder, we are looking at scholarships outside the country. What about Nigeria? Yeah, TED fund is for tertiary institutions, whether you have done education, whether you have done HND, or whether you have done a degree. These ones are in schools, okay? And it is the staff that have access to it. So in that case, you must be a staff of a university or a polytechnic or a college of education to have access to it. But the interesting thing is this: there are so many people. I think recently it was in the news that the federal government said they are not going to take care of scholarship for Nigerian students again, that they know they don't come back. This is one of the dangers that we have here in Nigeria. Okay? So as a staff of a particular institution, you take so much money from the institution, you go and don't come back. This is quite pathetic. Okay? So this is one of the reasons why it is not very popular that we have scholarships in Nigeria, okay? But it is still there. So there are other scholarships that you can look out for. I will send the notes, you will see that. Benefit of postgraduate scholarship. Now, when you have a postgraduate scholarship, please, who is that? Please mute. Yeah. Sarah Saab, you can share my screen. Benefits of postgraduate scholarships, okay? One, it gives us financial assistance for tuition and living expenses. Two, there's reduction. Okay, thank you so much. No, go back to the second page. Yeah. So go back to the second slide. Yes. So what are the needs? What are the needs, particularly when you are applying for a scholarship? First, you identify the area and the program you want to pursue. This is very key because we're all in different fields. Okay, you don't apply for what you cannot get. For example, I'm a mathematician, I can't apply for a scholarship in the biological fields. It is not done. Unless they say, oh, this is a collaborative work we want to do, let's look for mathematicians that are doing mathematical biology, and then you can say, oh, okay, this guy is good, we have seen his works, and that is very, very important. Your research must be seen. I mean, it must be something that people can always identify with, that they understand what you are doing. That is the essence of publishing. The last speaker said in academics is publish or perish. So publishing means you must be able to showcase what you have, what you can do, and show that these things are useful for humans. Sometimes for us in the theoretical fields, they are not directly things that you might be able to apply immediately. Okay? But then people see that this is more recent, it is not a work you have copied. So, I mean, you didn't plagiarize anyone. So then when you identify the field, then you can look at, oh, what kind of scholarship opportunities do I look for? Okay, you have to search carefully to see your eligibility. In the eligibility case, you must carefully review those conditions for eligibility. I'm trying to look at one in the post for a postdoc. It says, oh, okay, I am a stochastic analyst. They say, okay, you must be a stochastic analyst. You must have research ideas about stochastic geometry. Then you must be able to do some things on limit theorems. You know, so the moment I look at what I have there and it doesn't directly apply to me, if I cannot build those things, I should not tell lies. Particularly when you're going outside the country, don't tell lies. Anything that has to do with falsehood, forget it in research. I mean, the white man will never take that. Next slide, please. Next slide. Okay, good. So what do you need to prepare very good documents for your scholarship application? A lot of times when students finish school, they forget whatever they have used in school. They go looking for a job. And at the end of the day, when they need these things, I mean, in very urgent cases, it becomes difficult. There are so many bureaucracy in getting academic transcripts, certificates, and records. Yeah, it's not always very easy. Sometimes it's on schools, and sometimes the cost. Presently, I know that the cost for getting academic transcripts is high. So as you are finishing school, the first thing you should do is get a student copy of your transcripts. If your certificates are ready, immediately go get it. There is not, I mean, it will be lying fallow there doing nothing. Because at the point of applying for any scholarship, these things are very, very necessary. In fact, if you don't have them, forget the scholarship. Then you must have a very good CV that showcases you. When I look at your CV, in fact, if I have to write a reference, I tell you, send me your CV, send me your statement of purpose, send me, I mean, your results. From there, I'll be able to judge. I might not even need to see you. If everything on your CV is right, then I'll be able to write very good, reference for you. So most times, your CV speaks about you. Don't remove details of what you can do so well. For example, let me give you an example. In the mathematical field now, it is very common that when they ask for a particular field, they can attack things like programming skills, like computational skills. I mean, so a lot of people that just face the theory alone, they don't do anything about that, then they don't fit in because now the world is going computational. Sometimes you need to have an adjoining knowledge of another field. For example, I mentioned mathematical biology for somebody that is doing biomaths. I mean, you must have basic rudimentary knowledge of what those people also have so that you can now use your mathematics to interpret what they have. And then it makes a lot of sense. Now, your statement of purpose, this is what you write to explain your academics, I mean, your career or your goals. I mean, how does the program you are applying for the scholarship applies to what you have? Do you align with them? Is your thinking in the same way? So if you don't have that, then, so they expect you to be able to write a very good statement of purpose, then letters of recommendation. This one is one thing that I always tell my students. When you are in school, behave very well to your lecturers. Be good to them, because some of them might be your fortune in life. A lot of times, students look at lecturers as, just don't mind them. That man gave me so much. Because of that, you hate him. You don't want to interact with him. Maybe he might be the best person that can give you the best of references. Sometimes some lecturer will just tell you, okay, write what you want, let me see it. I'm telling you, it is telling you that you want to fail. That is the truth of the matter. If a lecturer knows you, he wants to write a recommendation for you, he does not need anything from you, because you don't know the requirements for that recommendation. He might have to answer a lot of questions about your personality. I've seen cases where the lecturer is asked, okay, let me give you an example. For how long have you known the students? If you say 2 or 3 years, what does that mean? It means you don't really know the students. Okay, what are the things the students have done that you have known? Maybe in relationship to other students, maybe, in class when you taught him or her, and at the end of the day, you look at it and say, do I really know the students? And you don't want to tell lies, because if you tell lies, it is your credibility, your own integrity that speaks. So a lot of time, letters of recommendation are key to your obtaining a scholarship. Like I said, I'm lucky to have written so many, and it has written a lot of successes for students. There was a student that was leaving to South Africa. As he was leaving, he said he's going to so department, so school. I said, oh, okay. When you get there, you meet so person. And he was surprised. Lo and behold, when he got there, they made him feel like, when he came back, he brought his result to my table. I said, thank you, sir. This is my result. And he made an excellent grade. So these are the kind of things. I have a student that, okay, he just put my name in a reference to AIMS in Ghana, and they didn't ask me for any reference again. And he was wondering, he said, they are giving him the scholarship. Have I written the reference? I said, I have not written. He said, okay. That is to show how important this letter of preferences or recommendation can be. So it's a potential part of the success of whatever you want to apply for. Then there are some exams you might need to do: TOEFL, IELTS, GRE, GMAT, depending on what you are applying for. Those courses might foster or make your scholarship quite easy. So next slide. Now, your statement of purpose, if it is not strong enough, it doesn't make them see the potential in you. They don't know you. They have not seen you. So it is very important you learn how to do that. In the material I'm going to say, I gave some guide on how to do that. So you must be able to highlight your academic achievement, and that's why sometimes when you are in school, you don't overlook this group work thing. The last speaker was talking about collaboration. It starts from when you're a student. They give you assignment together with other students, and you are looking at it and stuff. Like, go and do it, Jerry, go and do it. And somebody will take it, will collect money from you and do it for you. The kind of experience that person will have, you can never have it. And it might be required at some point. And you see, in the Western world, collaboration is what makes them get good results and new results easily. But in Africa here, everybody works alone. I want to show that I'm the one that is brilliant. They keep their knowledge, they hide it until they die. People will not say, nobody can continue what he's doing. We don't even understand what he's doing. So a lot of times collaboration, is very, very important. So it helps you to see how well other people think, and you are also able to show how you think to others. So when you want to write a set of purpose, it will be very, very strong, because you already have ideas of how these things go. Next slide, please. Next slide. Okay, Sarah with me. Next slide. This next slide. Can you hear me? Okay, good. Now, letters of recommendation, I've talked about it. Reach out to professors, your mentors, employers who can provide strong and specific letters of recommendation. Ensure they are familiar with your academic and personal qualities, as well as the potential for success in the choosing. Because sometimes they ask you, how do you think this person can actually excel in this thing is applying for. A lot of times they ask you to rate. A lot of times they want to see your thoughts. You also. So even when you're writing a letter of reference, the fact that, I mean, somebody is in the peak of his career does not mean you write the best of references. A lot of times they go to look at the work of the person writing the recommendation letter. I mean, so this thing goes a long way. It goes deeper than what you just see. So when the student called to me and said, yes, please write the letter. Okay, what, I mean, and he said, this is what somebody gave me because you need 2 or 3. I just look at it. I said, okay, bring it. Just drop it. Go. Send me your CV. Send me your SOP. And because my whole thing, it must align with your statement of purpose. I mean, if it does not, then you are in trouble. I can't be saying A about you and you are saying Z about yourself. I mean, so next slide. Yes, so okay, submit applications. Which one is okay? Prepare for interview. Sometimes some scholarship require you to be interviewed. They do it online. I have seen cases where students are in fact, there is someone that was supposed to stay in my office for today to have an interview. I mean, from some institutions abroad. I mean, but it was not, he didn't have to come from Lagos again. So you need to prepare a number of things. Everything that you say about yourself, you must be able to defend. The ideas required to make what will give you that scholarship, what they are asking for, what they want you to come and do with it, you must be able to defend it. So your responses, you must not be forgetting, because they want to be looking at you and be saying, look at your gestures, they want to, and know, I mean, is this guy really fit? I mean, if we are saying we want to put $80,000 on this guy, I mean, will it be worth it? I mean, it wouldn't be ideal for them to send for you. You get to their country, and I mean, you can't offer anything. So prepare yourself so well for questions. I mean, try to see what kind of response you can have, demonstrate your passion for the field, and I mean, it shows how well you are prepared, because the scholarship is a free gift, and then you must be able to showcase that you are worthy of it. Yeah, it's like the way you have shown you are worthy of your certificate that you have, then you must be able to showcase that thing I want to come for, I am good with it. I can do it so well, more than any other person. Imagine if there are 10 people applying for the same scholarship, or there are 50. I mean, Commonwealth scholarships are always commonly applied for by Africans. Sometimes you just need 2. So how will you be one of the 2? Sometimes they say they need 3, sometimes 1. I've seen so many cases. There's a student that came to me, said they wanted to pick just 1. And lo and behold, he was number 9 on the list. Today, the guy also is in the US doing PhD in mathematics. So next slide. Yeah, submit applications early, okay? Because don't let it be close to the deadline. Why? For example, I have seen myself submitting a paper 2 minutes to the end of the timing of submission. Yeah, it means I have not prepared well. That's the minute. So prepare and submit your applications well in advance to avoid last-minute rush. There could be technical issues. There could be network problem. Yes, you know Nigeria for what it is. There could be light. I mean, your laptop can malfunction. I mean, if you are expecting, okay, you have a laptop that requires backup at all times, and then there's no light, or you wanted to want the gen to get packed up. I mean, you're in trouble. So please, these things are very, very important. Submit application early on time. Next slide. So apply for multiple scholarships. Yes, scholarships are very competitive. I just mentioned reasons why it is so competitive, and some of the reasons why you need to look at so many chances. I mean, then always remember that each scholarship has, I mean, some basic things that you must supply. Okay, so you tailor your application to what is required. Okay, if you think you want to just write again, like some people will say, just give me a general letter of recommendation, I can only submit it. No, tailor your application to what the requirements are. This is very key. Next slide. Stay persistent and be positive. Like the PhD work or the MSc work is. Yes, scholarship processes can be long and challenging. You can try this year, try it next year, try, and someday you just say, God, I got it, and you'll be so happy. So you have to stay persistent, positive, and patient. If you receive rejections, don't mind. It's one of those things. You are learning in the process. Before you know it, you become an expert, and you'll be able to also, I mean, advise. I remember one of my friends who is in 4 years. I mean, we did our MSc and PhD here together. Today, the guy is holding a grant of $3 million. Yes, he's Dr. Bakari in 4 years. He has, a center. He told me he tried it so many times before he was able to get the grant. It's a big gate, they call it big gate grants. Okay, he's also paying postdoctoral students, paying MSc students, from his grant. He's here in Nigeria. Okay, and it is here in Nigeria that he applied. Although he had to go for fellowships, understand so many things that other people are doing, so he's able to see, and he's trying to do researches that has to do with just malaria. Mathematical biology, that's what he's doing. But he has computational tools, computational ideas on how to go about it. So you need to have some of these experiences and be strong, be persistent in what we are looking out for. Next slide. Yeah, consider alternative funds, sources. Sometimes it happens. You can be in a scholarship and they tell you that this thing cannot go. It has happened to one of my students. His Abbas is in Italy. He's doing quite fine. The guy he had a tutu. What ended the scholarship was the project work he did. And this is one of the things I should also mention. The guy said when they asked for the project they did in their final year, and they saw that in the project work, what they'll be doing as academic work, the guy has covered almost everything. So he had a very good rating. So even with his tutu, with his second class lower, he was one of the first people that got the scholarship in a set. But at a point, he said last December they stopped paying them. They had problems. I don't know what kind of problem they had, and he had to look at people outside Italy. There were his family and friends that were sending money to him to cope. So sometimes he did a part-time job. Sometimes it could be another research grant. Sometimes, when you go abroad, it's not juicy. It's not really as easy as you think. You have to cope with life because you pay for everything you use. The food is cheap, no problem, but then other facilities are not cheap. So within that, you need to consider alternative fund source. Okay. So next slide. Okay. Then the next slide is about seeking guidance. Okay. Please, next slide, not this one. Yeah, seek guidance. Okay. Seek guidance from mentors, professors, professionals that are in your field, people who have done it, or people who have insight into what obtains. Why? Because you are going into something new, and you cannot guarantee that that thing you are going into, is what you know too well. People make a lot of guess. Nigerian system is different from almost every other system in the world. Yes, those who have traveled can vouch and see this. Okay, a lot of times, most of those systems are secured. There are things that you cannot just go into and say you want to run out. No. And a lot of times when you get there, you see that, this place is very good, it's very beautiful. Let me sustain this. So in an order to do that, you get into a lot of this and that, and you have to just learn how to cope with it. So most times, if you don't get full scholarship, it is tough. The best bet, because most of those scholarships are tailored to whatever you need. You cannot possibly get outside. Academics is not a place you say, I want to just go and be rich. So when I get there, I'll just use their money. No. If it is so, then all the professors there and the doctors there, they should have airplanes. They should have the best of houses and all this stuff. But that's not the case. So last slide. Yes. My final words. Remember that securing a scholarship takes time and effort, but with careful preparation and dedication, you can increase your chances of achieving your postgraduate academic goals. Yeah, whether master's, whether PhD. So you make your guiding light all through, and surely he knows best, and he provides the best for. He is the chess player behind everyone's career and life endeavors. So these are the little tips that I have, and that is my parting words. I want to encourage us because the idea is this. Some of us who are in academics today, when Professor Giwa was alive, I remember it was one of the answers when he called us and he tried to encourage some of the answer members to say, oh, okay, you young people, we want to have some of you to continue what we are doing. And the average thing you look at is a lecturer, they don't have money. And with that, you want to run from the field. But normally, the job has its kind of, riches. First is you are rich in knowledge. That's the first thing. Your riches come later. It might take a lot of time. You might crawl, like somebody is saying that for a senior lectureship, you have to get some particular criteria to get to those places. Yeah. And if you're not a senior lecturer, you struggle with a lot of things. And that is where they need to be able to cope with some of these struggles in life. It's whether you are here or anywhere in the world, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. I know a brother here that is, working so hard to finish up with his PhD. I know what he went through, but that's not the topic for. But a lot of times the German need to also support, because we have scholarship groups like the Common Conference of All Muslim Organizations that Professor Shobulo started. In that case, what they do is they give you 100,000, 50,000 when you are starting, when they are sure that you have admission and you are continuing the job, then 50,000 when you are almost in the middle or going to the end. And that's the best they can offer. I think the JAMA can do more. If we look at some of our students that we know that they're eligible, let's push them. Let's give them a startup fund. Let them start. Let's get the academic record as they do it. I think this will also help, because doing some of these higher degrees might, for now, it's very, very tough, particularly when you're here in Nigeria. If you have to go abroad, it's also tough. But at the same time, there's a leverage. There's a leverage, because in that place, when you are there, it's easier to source for this or that. And I think this is where I'm going to stop. If there are comments, there are questions, then maybe that will also direct me into some of the things that I've not talked about. So I appreciate you for inviting me to give this talk, and I hope that will be most beneficial. Thank you so much. Assalamu alaikum wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Dr. Diko Saab, thank you very, very much for that very enlightening talk. And I believe a lot of people on the call are taking a lot of what you talked about, that they are, just like you call them, they are tips. And when they go into their own special fields, they'll be able to flesh it up. So thank you so much. So the time is fast spent, and we still have the interactive session that is going to be coordinated by Dr. Yusuf Shogbeson and Brother Shuyo. So can they quickly go on? It's already close to 7 o'clock. I don't know how long you want to keep this on, but they are the one anchoring that that section of this program. So, Dr. Yusuf Shogbeson, maybe you just have a limited number of questions that you're going to take, and then we do that, and then maybe people could just post their questions that you can send to our resource persons, and they can answer, and you find a way of getting back the answers to them. So, Bismillah.
Okay, assalamu alaikum wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam.
Yes, sir. With your kind permission, sir, I will ask participants to drop their question.
Go on. Already 2 people are raising their hands. Maybe while people are dropping questions, you can,
So if you have questions and you are ready, so you can just unmute yourself, and in less than 1 minute, go straight to your question so that we can easily attend to that when we have much time.
Assalamu alaikum wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam
wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Jazakumullahu khairan for this opportunity. Without much ado, I have 2 questions. One, concerning mentorship, is it possible to have a mentorship session in the Jamaat with we students, most especially the undergraduates? And can we be paired with educational mentors in the Jamaat? Number 2, Can the slides be shared with us, please? Jazakumullah khairan.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I have two questions, one from the first lecture and the one from the second one. The one from the first lecture is, does it mean that people with it's not necessary to have a PGDE, postgraduate diploma in education, before someone can become an academic? That's question one. And question two is, does communicating with a lecturer in the intended university abroad guarantees a scholarship? I mean, communicating with a lecturer in the school that someone wants to apply to, does it guarantee a scholarship? Jazakumullah khair.
Okay. Can I just, are we waiting for all the questions to be asked before we answer?
Yes, I think we have 3 more hands up.
Yes, Sadiq Eniola.
Okay.
You have the floor.
Assalamu alaikum. My question cross across the two speakers, and I hope one way to make them the answer. So, I'm a research student.
Please go ahead.
Okay, sir. So I'm a research student, and I'm going to my final year. But since 2020, I've been involved in academic research, and with the grace of Allah Almighty, I have 2 publications, one in international journal and the other in a local journal. But as from last year, I've been having this kind of doubts because all the research I've done, none of them has seen the light of the day. I mean, by going to the industries. Meanwhile, they are practical and technical researches. And notice that most of the research I read from my lecturers, my supervisor, everything has just been on the desk. Since then, nothing has been done to utilize them in the real world. So it has kind of discouraged me because I am the type that love getting things done. I love to see things work in reality. And initially, I have the plan of pursuing master's and PhD in my field. But after seeing that everything is just on the desk, I got discouraged. And between last year, December, and now, I have about 2 other papers that are still just on my PC that I should have pushed for publication, but I've just been discouraged. So I don't know if is there a way we can create a balance between the industry and academic in my own personal terms now. Okay. For my own personal sake, is there a way I can push on for this academic world and still apply it to the industry? Is there a way these papers can aid getting scholarships that can aid me towards my goal? That's my question.
Thank you. We have project management ideas. I don't know.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
That's our respected Secretary Talim for the Jamaat, sir.
Sorry, sir.
I know. I don't know. I'm not sure his question. Baba wants to pass comments, but no problem.
Actually, it's comments. I don't know. I mean, Sam, can I go ahead?
Please go ahead. Please go ahead. Please go ahead.
All right. Respected Amir Saib acting, our Sadar Saib, the fantastic resource persons, the lecturers, and all the participants. I sincerely want to express my appreciation for the program. The time is fast spent already, and there's no gainsaying saying that this is a fantastic program. I just want us to also consider a seminar topic around fundraising for non-profit organization. Let's say fundraising for scholarship in a faith-based organization, which is ours. But why I'm saying this is I met only part of Dr. Diko's very fantastic presentation, and I had him ended with if the Jamaat could assist the way he mentioned a particular Muslim organization offer 100,000, 50 at start and 50 midway or towards the end. So being our own area of influence, our own zone of influence. So I'm looking at us organizing a seminar. This is to the organizers now that is focusing on fundraising for scholarship in a faith-based organization. most of these other scholarship funding are for commercial purposes. They are profit-oriented, they are profit-driven. But in our case, faith-based is purely on moral grounds and so on. So just a topic for consideration. Once again, I'd like to thank everybody. Fantastic effort, and Jazakumullah khairan, Acting Amesa, for making yourself present for us. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa
Wa alaikum salam wa barakatuh.
There's only one more raised hand.
Yes,
only one more raised hand.
Wa alaikum
salam.
Wa alaikum salam.
I want to say thank you so much to the first and second lecturer. The two lectures were fantastic and quite explicit. I haven't said that. I wanted to ask a question about scholarship. Actually, I just finished my MSc in Nigeria here, and it was turbulent for me.
What field?
Economics.
What field?
Economics.
Okay.
So I spent quite, I think, over 5 years as my MSc. So as such, I'm not even going to, But when I heard about the idea of a scholarship, probably maybe it's going to be a foreign school, so I just changed my perception that, okay, maybe it's going to be different from what I experienced from Nigeria during my MSc period. But I'm yet to exploit that. I have quite a number of friends here that they got a scholarship. So one out of them, I'm very close. Just had a scholarship from USA. But the scholarship, after he got it, he told me that he needs close to like 8 million. I said, scholarship again. Why do you need close to like such amount before you can pursue it? So I'm just confused, since that is not my line. So he was looking for a particular person in Nigeria or anywhere abroad that could give them maybe their bank statement to support him so that he can get the admission. So I don't know if one, as a Nigerian, for example, you apply for a scholarship, does it mean that you still need to spend to back it up, or is absolute that you won't spend a dime? I don't know.
Admission that is needed for the scholarship. You have to force it scholarship.
Okay. Can we answer?
I think the last one is Leo Akorede. If you can ask that one, then we can go on to the answers. Dr. Aliyu Akorede, I think. After that one, we can.
I just I just want to make a passive comment. It's not a question. And the comment is pertaining the last person that spoke. Okay, I would have Dr. Diko's side will answer, but I just want to forget that, so I just need to speak. I'm sorry for preaching to the firstly, now I just want to add to what Dr. Diko have said about scholarship. Scholarships are variant and it covers different things. Firstly, it can be for the studies alone, and mostly not all scholarship covers your living expenses. So scholarship only covers tuition fees, and schooling alone is not only tuition fees. A lot of things included in academic rigorosity. So the scholarship is only on tuition fees. So that is why, according to Welcome Musa Femisai, the question you raised, your friend might be looking for money for his accommodation and other expenses. So scholarship doesn't cover that aspect. And being an economist, maybe after the event, we can shut me up. We can talk better.
Thank you very much. So, Diko, please can start answering the questions, and then we give the floor to. You are muted, though. Dr. Diko, you are muted. Please unmute yourself.
Okay, thank you,
better.
sir. Yes. Yeah, I appreciate all questioners for those questions. Shows that they were quite attentive, and I appreciate the comment of our National Talent Secretary, my powerful former Sarah. Yes. The last question on scholarship that requires money again. I must sincerely tell you, you see, if you have to travel out of this country, you need money. Even before the scholarship is processed or before you got it. Nobody will give you money for scholarship before you leave this country. That is the main part of, this issue. Another thing is there is scholarship in scholarship. You get a scholarship, you get there, you need source of funding, like the last speaker said, that you need another source of funding to cope with that scholarship. Okay, so there is no free meal anywhere. Every scholarship you have has a goal that you must achieve.
You are muted again, oh.
Okay. Now, thank you, sir. So it is very important that some of this scholarship, we know our focus and we are sure, because a lot of times you go out of the country, you don't know the standard of living, the cost of living, and so many other things that are attached to it. And this is the reason why you need to get good education about seeking for scholarship. Let me give you another example. Another example is this. Some people, you see here in Nigeria, if you are a geologist, the kind of study that you have here in geology or maybe geography, is different from what they study in the UK for their geology. So, if you are going to such a place to study, you might not be going to study what is required for you here. Or you have done a study, somebody left here after doing his first degree in geology, goes for a master's somewhere in the UK, and by the time he comes out, they tell you are not relevant. You just wonder, what is the meaning of all I've gone to do? Because what you study is different. You as an economist, for example, the way our economics here is, Nigeria as an economy, what you need to cope or to study might be different from what they do, in some of these advanced countries. There are principles, basic principles you understand, right? No problem. But when you study the problems you have in Africa, like you can see in the present situation, is different from problems they have in the Western world. So sometimes you need to be sure that you can fund some part of your scholarship abroad. Yeah, there's no doubt about that. Another thing I want to mention is this. You mentioned application of some of what you have done. Okay, sorry, somebody else mentioned that he had done some study, this is in his work, and he's discouraged because he's not getting, it is not bringing out anything for him. Now, the idea is this. Whenever you study anything in your project, it is your responsibility to make people know about it. I was in a particular workshop in Porto Novo in 2018, and the facilitators were from Canada. And one of the ladies mentioned to us that, look, when you make a study, no government is ready to put money in that thing you have studied, except you make them realize its usefulness. And this is the problem. Nigerian, we have one basic problem. We do not reckon with academics in using that to determine, okay, what happens in our economy. So it becomes a problem. You see, sometimes you give students particular essays to write to determine the solution to a particular problem. And eventually, by the time those students present their essay, you see that from what they have said, these things are fact. But who is implementing it? Nobody. It's just the same way that work you do, which you are supposed to publish, is. So a lot of times, please push out your work, put it in places that matters, where people that need it to see it. For example, two of my publications that I have, I've sent it to a journal that the people that started the work that we are extending, that is where they are. By the time they review and they give good recommendations for it, it shows how sound your work is. If you want to seek for scholarship, particularly for postdoc, for example, they want to see what you have done. Where have you published? You can't publish in about a journal and you want to seek scholarship in the US or in the UK. No, there are reviewed journals that you must publish in to be able to showcase what you have, and then you will be relevant. So for that brother, don't be discouraged. It only means that, like my earlier speaker said, at every point in time, don't think that you are failed. No, it only needs you to push more so that you can get the best. Then it also depends on, for example, in Switzerland, they have some collaborative scholarship for you to get a PhD. You are in an academic institution, you collaborate with people in the industry, and that is what will give you. You have to solve a major problem in the industry. But unfortunately, lo and behold, some of those kind of PhDs, when you get there, they say, we don't reckon with it, it's not theoretical. Because when the Western people were leaving us in Nigeria, they let us with theory. So we are more used and more adapted to the theoretical things. But they are solving their own problems locally, with you coming to help to solve it by doing the research. Okay, so in such a case, you can look out for scholarship in some of those countries where they have direct applications of research that you do in the academics. So please, note that. Then how do you create a balance in academics? And yeah, you can so well. In fact, these days, a lot of the things you see, AI is coming. It is already taking ground. It has to do with research knowledge that is being employed in the real world. This is the kind of thing we are talking about. You look at current areas of research. That's how to balance it. Look at current areas of it. For example, I mentioned something. You are taking it lightly. Like I talked about the quantum computer. Yeah. I got to know that this exists long time ago. But I was not independent. I had to my research under my advisor, so I had to wait till I finish. And recently, I was giving a talk in a workshop, and by the time I finished doing my research and I gave the talk, everyone was like, "Wow! So this is where the world is," and everything is tending towards that. So please look at current areas of research, then publish in high-impact journals where you can be seen. Then does PGD? Okay, maybe the other speaker would talk about that, but PGD is just postgraduate diploma in education. The other thing you can do is, for those that are having maybe like HND, you can do a conversion program that helps to do a master's, because sometimes some universities don't take HND directly for their master's. So that you can use that to move forward for your academics. Then does
Dr. Dr.
Yeah. Yes.
You can help
yes.
with the question, sir.
Okay. So he is saying I should answer that. Okay. Well, PGDE requires you, if you are moving from, maybe you have done a core course in some areas that are theoretical, and you are now in academics, in education, you want to convert to education, or you are moving from one field to another. For example, somebody has done mathematics in his first degree, and they say, oh, okay, you want to do engineering in your master's, or you want to do computer science in your master's, then go and do a PGD. That's a postgraduate diploma. The diploma will brush you through the rudimentary first degree courses. That will now help you to know what the basic things are. Then you can now attach what you have done at the BSc level to start your master's degree. Sometimes they ask you to apply directly for a master's. Then when you are doing that master's, they step you down that what you are going to get is an MPhil. Okay, you can't do a master's that will give you a PhD grade. Why? Because they will ask you to go and do undergraduate courses with undergraduate students, and then you can now fit in, okay, to understanding the basic rudimentary things they have done at that level. So your PGD will now act like a balance for you to do a full master's program or move ahead to a PhD degree. So that is that part. Then can the slide be shared? Yes, I have sent the slide, and they have other material that has some of these resources where you can search for a scholarship. I have, majority of them on the other. That one is a Word file. I sent it to the Sarah side. I think he's going to share with everybody. Just communicate with him, so he will send it to you. Then mentorship. Mentorship is a very powerful task. We have limitations in the JAMA. Anything we have to do, has to be in line with what the JAMA allows. Okay, so if you want mentorship, I am sure you can get enough. One aspect I would love the Sarah sir to work on is, as a continuation of this, please get all the names, the list, the fields of academics in higher institutions in Nigeria. Let us know all of them. When you know all these people, then it is easy. If you have people that require mentorship in a particular area, refer them to such a person. I am in the mathematical field. I also have a senior colleague in the mathematical field. I know him, although we haven't really had much, given that the fact that we're a family, but we have not really, because I have looked at his works, I have seen that his work does not really go in the direction that I'm doing. But still, I mean, I have seen him spoken so many times in conferences and so on of those places. But for those that are not in, they are not lucky to be close, I mean, the JAMA can create a link and help with that. I also want to mention that, you see, this particular thing we have just discussed now about scholarship, we also have people that we can pick as resource persons who are abroad. I mean, somebody like Brian Motajo, who also, I think, got a grant from his workplace to go to do his PhD. Recently, he told me he has achieved the goal, and people like that can also be invited. They are in the field, particularly in those countries where they know that these things exist and they are real. I was discussing with a colleague like 3 or 4 days ago, and he said, look, instead of looking for a post, why don't you relocate? And I wonder, I said, everybody is just thinking that just run away from this country, and who will make the country? And now we have a university. If we all run away from here, how do we come back to that university and say, this is what the Uzura said will work for us? So please, these are some of the things you have to consider. Whenever you are looking for scholarship, look at areas that are good for you and look at areas that you can make a pullback, okay? A pullback of what, I mean, you can give back to the community, now the JAMA in this case. Then for fundraising, I appreciate our National Talim Secretary, sir. I'm happy about that, and mean that you can see this. And thank God you are also at the center of scholarship. I mean, one thing that can also help in my own way that I'm thinking is that now that the scholarship funds has been increased, I hope our JAMA members would also be able to see this, I mean, so that a percentage of it can be put for PhDs. Announce it that we have so I mean, amount for PhDs. If you have applied for a PhD, then you can come apply for this funding. I mean, as much as it is available, then very many people will come. I can bet it with you. I know of brothers that wanted to continue, but because of funding, because of family life, you know, we have encouraged our people to marry early. I married from the point of after service. I did all my degrees as a married person. I mean, so you can, you know, and even with the service of the JAMA. And I also tell people that, look, the service of the JAMA does not kill you. It does not, it rather helps you, okay? It can delay you a bit. Then also another key thing is, I appreciate the lady that asked the first question. Thank God I'm hearing the voice of the lady. Ladies have so many opportunities now. You have grants that are left for ladies alone. They will say women in this, women in that. So even as a married woman, you have privileges. And in fact, in most cases, they give them first before men, because they see that it is dwindling, that most ladies don't have opportunities. I mean, because of family life, they have a delay, so they can't push ahead. They are encouraging them so much. I know, like women in mathematics, they have so many opportunities they give to their women. I know of a student I taught here who got a PhD before me, while she went to Germany. So many of them are like that. So please, let's encourage our ladies too. Some of them will tell you after family life like this, they are not allowing them to go to school again. Please, it shouldn't stop them. I guess we should encourage them, because if we have encouraged them to marry and they are married to us, then we should also say, oh, okay, I mean, you should also push ahead. Sometimes they are better than us. That is the fact. That is the fact. In fact, I have supervised ladies in undergraduate that are published from their works. I mean, because around Mambale, I mean, they're always more relaxed and more focused. They are, I mean, a lot of times, I have percentage of them have these qualities. So please, let's encourage them too. Don't let's kill that desire. If you see a leader has a passion for this, despite the family life, they should still be able to live their life as academics. Then there are no much of our ladies in academics. Very few. We can count them. Maybe if you count, maybe 10 out of all the people. I don't know. I mean, apart from those teaching in secondary school, I mean, in higher institutions, I don't know. Maybe we can make a statistics. So we need to encourage them, I mean, to come up again. And most of them will also be useful for our university. This is for me. I think I have answered majority If there's anyone I've not answered, please, you can remind me. Thank you for the privilege. Jazakumullah khairan. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you very much, Dr. Diko, for answering all those questions. I think we have to bring this to a close. It's almost 7:30. I saw Professor Abdullah raised his hand. Then Jafar, if we continue, we won't leave here. But let me give it to them one minute. One minute. Prof, please, 1 minute, and Dr. Jafar, 1 minute, and then we'll round it off. Professor Abdullah, please unmute yourself and speak. Professor Abdurrahman. Okay, if he's not ready, maybe Dr. Jafar, go ahead. Please, 1 minute.
Thank you very much for the privilege, sir. Yeah, I just want to throw little light because Dr. Diko has already answered a lot of questions. From the funding aspect.
Okay, hold on, Prof, please, hold on. After Dr. Jaffa, you can come in. Oh, yeah, go on, Dr. Jaffa.
All right, sir. From the funding aspect, he mentioned a Muslim organization that gives a scholarship, collaborated with what Talim officer also said. I likely just to correct the notion that it's a conference of all Muslim
organizations.
Nigeria.
That's true. Go on. We've lost your Dr. Jaffa.
We've lost his audio.
Oh my God.
Organization, yeah, is part. Hello?
Yeah, go on. We lost you at a point. Let's round up,
okay,
please.
Yeah, I said I'm one of the beneficiaries, likewise Dr. Diko and Dr. Sadiq, which I know of. Then the second aspect is just about the relationship with industry. I mean, academics with relationship with the industry. I think this issue is, it passed our own level, is the issue from the federal government of Nigeria. We need to harmonize the results or the researches that are carried out in the institution for them to be used in the industry. I met with a colleague in US who is one of our mentors. While I was on my PhD, I discussed one of my objectives with him, and he said, what is the relevance of your objective that is going to solve in the environment or in the community or in your area of study? He said, in Nigeria, you base all your research on theories, not on practical, that we should move away from such thing and move directly to what will solve something in the community. And how we can do it is for the industry to bring a problem that we will solve and give them result and which will be useful in the community. I think that's, because of the time, I would like to stop here, sir. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I think Professor Abdullah has lowered his hand. I can't see him again. So I think maybe the point you wanted to make has already been made. So I think we should bring this to a close. By way of closing remarks, let me just thank the organizers, starting from the Sada himself, who conceived the very idea. I was thinking outside the box, saw the problem, and then felt something has to be done about it. And then, put together even gather the information, the statistics that they came up with. And I'm talking about the statistics. I think from what Dr. Diko said, you may have to repeat that survey, and cast your net wider and add a little bit more factors like maybe the gender, the field that they are interested in, all that. Or if you have them already, they didn't feature in the what was shown, So, but if they are not there, we will need that you update that survey and get more information and get it, more comprehensive to guide interventions like the ones that Dr. Diko, suggested. So, and then to all of us, we shouldn't give up, just like again he said, and even earlier on, Dr. Abdulsalam Sadiq said this. You try, you fail, you try. You have to be persistent. Without the persistence, you can't survive in academics. In fact, I don't think you can even survive anywhere really, but particularly so academics. So we will want to thank the SADA and its team and all our resource persons and even all the members that have given time to attend this. We hope, just like one of the objectives said, they're now going to be having a series of more seminars, a series of more engagements, like this one, that will be used to sensitize, people, and then talking about scholarship. Yeah, we do have that challenge. They ask us to, if you look at your Chanda portal, it used to be 20 naira a person, and people are not even contributing that. Now, recently, it was jacked to 200 naira. And we discussed among ourselves, if people actually contribute that 20 naira, if all Chanda payers pay 20 naira, we'll be able to mobilize about, I think at that time, say about 14 million, and that will go some way, but that doesn't happen. That's the problem that we have, So, but we'll be thinking of ways by which we could, if we do the seminar that respected Talim Secretary mentioned, maybe ideas will flow as to how faith-based organization, can, get funds to run their scholarship programs. So I want to thank all of you once again, and hope that soon we'll have a repeat of this, bringing in, just like somebody suggested, I think it's Dr. Diko, bring somebody from outside to come and talk to us, people who have experienced it, who, have enjoyed facilities elsewhere. They'll be able to tell you how do you go about it to be able to get the scholarships. So we thank you, and we thank Allah for granting all of us the grace to be here. So please join me in closing prayer.
Yes, look, sir, before the prayer, sir,
okay.
Just to mention, yes, sir, Jazakumullah khairan, sir. Just to mention that the slides have been sent to me, and then we would send it out on request. So anyone who is interested in getting it, and the scholarship details sent by from Dr. Tugo, I've sent an email address for the Umuru Taliban to copy Sadar Majid Kudan Ahmadiyya. So we'll send it to them. So whoever is interested. So just to note that has been sent on the chat box, sir. Jazakumullah, sir.
Yeah, I've seen it there. umuritalaba@udam.ng. So if you want copies of the papers that were presented, send your, like the Sada said, send your email and copy the Sada himself. Then you get copies of the papers. And I think everybody should actually do that and get it. But it's better that they make it on demand so that we know the value of it. So thank you once again. So can we have our closing prayers, please? Amin. Jazakumullah khairan.
Amin. Jazakumullah khairan, sir. Jazakumullah. Thank you so much, sir. Yes, sir. Amin, sir. Yes,
my pleasure.
Amin. Jazakumullah khairan, sir.
Jazakumullah khairan, sir.
Thank you very much. Jazakumullah khairan.
Sir.
Dr. Sadiq. Assalamu alaikum. This is a very good work.
Why, sir?
The slide there, I will say slide there and see what's happening. It's a very good one. I love it so much. Yeah. Well done. I appreciate it.
Allah, sir. Jazakumullah khairan, sir.
Doctor,
Alhamdulillah.
Yes. Alhamdulillah.
Dr. Sadiq.
Yes, sir.
Dr. Sadiq.
Alagbara ni Sadiki.
Jafar B.
I did where you put me. Man, send give me let me put it on my archive. I will do it. Please.
It's all right.
Sadiko.
Yes, sir.
Man, send them.
No problem.
Send us very WhatsApp me or anyone.
Okay, my send is WhatsApp.
Thank you.
Sure. All right.
Let's close the meeting.
I think the host can end the whole call now.
Yes, I will call the host now. That's my maybe he's engaged in something else. I will call him. Jazakumullah khair.
Mala. Ahorita tengo canciones, muy talaba una canciones. Como talaba. Como talaba. Como botan una canciones. Mira mala. Abe não me dizer. A de inspiração os cafim. Ah. Come on. Okay. I send the group.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Sir, I've already forwarded the mail to